In your holy messengers I take delight. Right into the lead line again. Hey there, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad for your interest in singing the Psalms. Today we're going to take a look at singing and playing Psalm 16D. And a lot of the recordings on the Psalms for Singing record were intentionally left very minimalistic in their approach to instrumentation. And that was on purpose, with intention that these are going to be sung with congregations that are often led with just piano or acoustic guitar, or maybe both. So today we're going to take a look at singing and playing this with just one acoustic guitar and a vocal. Here's Psalm 16D. Preserve me, O God, for I'm trusting in you. Yes, you are my master, I said to the Lord. Besides you, I do not possess any good. In your holy messengers, I take delight. So that's the basic gist of the tune. Part of how I approach accompanying this with the guitar part is having a lead line that happens in between verses that guides the congregation's ear into the downbeat of the next verse, and then also having accompaniment that sort of leads the ear and lends itself toward the melody. So in the key of C, with C shapes, there are a lot of different little suspensions and intricacies that you can add to these chords that really help rhythmically move it along and also kind of imply the melody. So one of the things that I do is, if you look at what my pinky is doing on my left hand and my middle finger, you can get that sort of lead line type thing, a little melody within the chord happening in between each of the verses. I drop down that ring finger to grab that low G to get that nice full open chord. And something that I often find myself doing is holding a pick in my hand, but then sort of grabbing it with a different finger and not using it, and actually accompanying strumming with my thumb. And that gives a nice, I hate to use the word fleshy, but a fleshy tone that's warmer and a little bit less piercing and harsh than a strummed pick attack. The chordal accompaniment. So let's pause there. You'll hear a lot of movements happening within these chords, rather than just keeping one boring cowboy C chord going to the E minor. We have all these little movements, so let's walk through each of those. When you get to the E minor, you can grab the C on the B string, and that'll go nice with the melody there. God, for I'm trusting. And for the F chord, I wrap my thumb around the neck and grab the low E string with that thumb. And that lets you lift up on your middle and your first finger and get that same sort of movement. So preserve me, O God, for I'm trusting in you. Yes, that C over E is really important to lead the melody into it. Yes, you are my master, I said to the Lord. Besides you, I do not possess any good. In your holy messengers I take delight. Right into the lead line again. Now, if you're a novice guitar player and all of this seems a bit daunting, it is totally possible to just downbeat strum, just as you typically would. So let me play through a verse that's just a little bit simplified compared to this. So even if you do get rid of that lead line, I think it's important to have some sort of back and forth that really establishes that the singer is not supposed to come in yet. So just throwing that suspended fourth on there. And one other important thing to be mindful of in a song that is the same melody 5 times in a row is really having an intentional roadmap of dynamics. So in this case, I would sing verse 1, 2, and 3 relatively the same volume and drop down on verse 4, maybe just drop to doing downbeats for each measure, and then really building it up into the end of verse 4 into verse 5. So let me give an example of that. The Lord ever present before me I keep. He stands at my right hand, I shall not be moved. My glory rejoices, my heart is made glad, and also my flesh will live safely at Your right hand holds pleasures for me evermore. And so what I did at the end is the stereotypical deceptive cadence where you go to the 6 minor chord, in our case in the key of C would be A minor. So you could, starting at that last tag there, your right hand holds pleasures for me evermore. Go to that 6 minor there, repeat it. Your right hand holds pleasures for me evermore. So this concept works for any key. All you have to do is find, and if C is our 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so we know that A is going to be our 6 minor chord. And that's Psalm 16D.